a hectic end of the year.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad this year is over.
I mean, I was sick for a while, then our new car got into an accident, and that it's in service. Then a day after, there was a fire at the studio. We were lucky. What else happened? Something else happened. I can't even count.
Oh my gosh.
The awful events.
We not only had one car in the shop, we ended up with three cars this year.
So
our insurance is going to go through the roof. Oh,
2022, I am not going to miss you. That's
Happy
for sure.
New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Glad it came. If you like what you see today, please hit the like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So let's get started with 2023. It's about time.
Hi, I'm John, and this is Bogdan. Join us on our journey as we figure out how to earn a living as artists, introduce you to those we meet, and share what we learn along the way. Well, we had some horribly sad news. The studios right next to our building, Winter Street Studios, as part of Sawyer Yard's art community, is a building of about 60 studios. And there was a fire just before Christmas. And it was arson, so it was even more tragic. And then finally we learned even more tragedy. The man who committed the arson attack actually committed suicide. So it's just tragedy on top of tragedy. 2 or 3 studios were totally torched, and everyone else suffered severe smoke damage and damage to their art.
Hey man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a structural engineer out here.
Oh, okay. I'm not supposed to be here, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Smoke went through the cracks in the floor.
Oh,
we're not sure
Jesus.
it's safe up there.
Christ. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, guys, here's what I think we know. Apparently around 5 o'clock this morning, somebody came into the studio building with a bomb, went into the studio, blew it up, blew the wall out between the studio, blew a hole in the ceiling. They're now closing off the upstairs because they're not sure of the structural integrity of the building. It's pretty bad. Smoke damage to everything in there. All these artists have lost everything. We'll see how bad the building is in the future, but pretty dramatic and pretty gruesome. Particularly now, a lot of people are away for the holidays, so it's pretty bad. There is a collection, there are a number of people who are doing fund me pages and things like that. But there is a fund being made available through the City of Houston, through the Houston Arts Alliance. And you can check out their website and go there and make a donation, if you're so inclined, to help out some of the artists who basically lost everything in the fire.
Send me a picture. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't imagine, yeah. Oh my God.
We were able to get in the smoke this morning with the firemen and recover the artworks. We had 3 of them. They're all good, except they smell really bad. So I'm trying to clean up the canvas, John's canvas now, slightly to see if I can bring it back to life.
Okay, well, even though we just left the studios, still smelling of smoke, but we need to go over and pick up some print jobs over at Armadillo Print Supply. Is that what it's called? Photo Supply. And and then dropped them off at a collector, actually, a designer who's purchased a piece for a collector.
I'm really spooked. I can't believe we are able to sneak inside that building and get our artwork off the wall.
Yeah, when I went back to film just now, they threw me out because they said that there may be structural damage to the upstairs.
And it's a crime scene.
Oh God, yeah, it's a crime scene. It was a big deal. So lucky we got our art out when we did.
And so
Can't
sorry for
believe,
everybody else.
so sorry for everybody else. My God, a lot of people probably have lost everything. Anyway, so we're gonna go pick up some artwork, and we'll take you along with. Oh yeah,
We can do
designers.
that. How many you want? 2 inches over, or just?
Just 2-inch, yeah. would be
Whatever
cool.
matches, huh? So we just got here to deliver the artwork for the designer, who's in turn going to frame it and get it to a client. So we're dropping this artwork off, and then we get to have lunch.
Yol, I'm still working on that commission of the sculptural piece. The piece is almost ready, but I feel that it's missing something in the middle. So I'm working on adding a classic fountain, a water fountain. So I'm going to try to cut this up and make it rough, like it was, left over the years, and it's in decay. It is in decay, but I wanted to make it even more rough. So follow me on this. And so I play with this idea of a fountain, but as usual, it didn't work. I wasn't pleased with the colors and how it actually fit into that under the arch. And so after many trials, I come up with this idea of a head of a lion, actually, that has a hole in it where it shoots water into this fountain. And it looks so much better. I'm very pleased now with the outlook. And next is framing.
Hey guys, we're now in that weird week between Christmas and New Year where there's not a lot going on at the studio. There are not many customers, though Bogdan went in today just in case there were some who wandered through. And so I thought I'd take some time to do what I do every year, go through and take all my files from 2022 and store them away and create a new opening for 2023. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I do that, what kind of records we keep. We pretty much keep everything, and for how long. And so I just think as a small business, we have certain requirements that we're obliged to keep records. And I've gotten some mixed advice about that, so I wanted to go through that too. So basically what we do is every time I have an expense, get a receipt, I enter it into a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet is what I use to track all of our spending and all of our income. I have redundancies in that everything that we make goes through QuickBooks or through the bank and through my accountant, so that's covered kind of officially. But I keep an unofficial record as well in the spreadsheet. And why I do that is because I give everything a code, because I'd like to track things in ways that the accountants don't track. I'm more interested in being able to break down my income into how that income comes about. Which parts of it are sales of art, which parts of it are photography and video production, which parts of it are Bogdan's kind of work and which parts of it are my work, so that we can get a better sense as a business of what things are working and what things need more attention. As far as expenses, the same goes as well. I try and group things so that I can track expenses by certain projects, so I know how much a project cost us, and can compare that to the income that project generated, as well as things that are, things that we can revisit. Subscriptions. Are we going overboard on supplies? Are we going overboard on external services that we could do ourselves? We pay monthly for legal protection that we never have used. We have realized that we're paying 3 times in insurance what other artists we know are paying for their studio insurance. So things like that, if I don't track those things, I'm not able to get a good sense of where we are and notice trends and issues when they occur. And lastly, the thing that it allows me to do is at the end of the year, when we go through and do our kind of budget review and our goal setting and planning for next year, I'm able to say, here's what we spent this year, and we're able to project, okay, what are we likely to spend next year, and prepare some sort of preliminary budgets so that we can kind of estimate what we're going to need this next year to make it through. So I think they're good, sound business practices. It seems like a whole lot of work for 2 people, but my problem is that I come from a background of libraries and schools and public administration in cities, in library work. And so I'm used to working with big budgets and big systems where reporting becomes more important. So I'm trying to create some sort of hybrid. Every year, I think I streamline things a bit. I pull back a bit so that I'm not doing so much work for nothing. But anyway, that's the process, and I'd like to share it with you a little bit as we go. This is what kills me, is that, we've got the bylaws, we've discussed things, we've got everything, all the paperwork I can start. We have our board members, and we don't have a name, so I can't start the paperwork without a name. It's got to have a name.
Okay.
And this is what's killing us.
I know we came with bunch of names.
Yeah, I've got a bunch.
I have an idea
here.
now that we always put art, and doesn't seem to go too far because there are other names similar with this.
Right, but it's important that the name somehow suggest what it is. Arepa is singular, right? Art Path, Via Arte, Minerva, doesn't sound very interesting. Accelerator, Press Art, Art Run, Artwork. I did change the idea of art and then the word work, 2 words. Art Minor, that sounds like a degree. Well, after an incredibly involved process of coming up with names and trying various combinations, we ended up with the same name we started with, which also happened with our business, Bubarusa Productions. So after that entire process, we came up with the name Arepa Arte, and that will be the name of our new nonprofit. We have been able to turn in all of the paperwork before the end of the year, and so as soon as that paper corporation is formed, we'll be able to apply for nonprofit status with the IRS and start fundraising for our new nonprofit, Arepa Arte.
Well, I'm back to a older project that I started some time ago, and because I work in paper and I have a lot of time waiting in between drawing, I have to start and play with other things. So these small ones were on my table for a long time, and finally an idea sparked into my head, and I had to put it together. So instead of creating one piece, I actually combine 3 and 2. So I have 2 similar pieces now, one that contains 3 of these cracking acrylic, and the other one 2. I think they're very lovely, they're very decorative in a way, and a medium to small size that can fit in any space.
With all the half-finished projects I've got in my studio, I decided to strike out and try something new. I'm creating 4 pieces here on paper. I just love working on paper, and I love doing the kind of monoprint technique. But halfway through the process of doing the monoprint, I changed my mind and decided just to do some abstracts after all. So general abstracting. And so the process is amazing. I get to just have a ball with color. I didn't work with texture this time, but I did really experiment with some lots and lots of color patterns, and layer after layer after layer of mark making and laying down color. So hopefully they have turned out well, but it's the process that I really enjoy. Have you guys seen this? If you have some tear where the tape doesn't come off the painter's tape, it actually kind of pulled a little bit on the paper, which is unsightly. Doesn't really affect the art, but it's unsightly. You take an emery board and just slightly go over it. It can roughen that surface back up. Now, if you've got a very highly textured paper, it may not work as well. But that takes a lot of the little tear out, and you basically can't tell that it was ever there. Pretty cool trick. The other thing I notice is that if I wet that paper, that painter's tape, before I take it off, it usually comes off much nicer. Man, doesn't disappear completely, does it? But it is better than it was. I mean, enough that I could sell it and not feel uncomfortable. Plus, a lot of it's probably going to be behind a frame anyway. But yeah, Art Hack 101. So what have we got here? Look how beautiful.
I pick up some pictures for the exhibition. And of course, we don't have a van because somebody banged in us and it's a service, so I had to carry 2 at a time.
So you have to pick up 2 at a time. They're huge.
The owner of the shop said, you know what, give me some hours, we'll deliver it to you. But so I really want to look at them right now.
So these are the ones for the new exhibition, Nature Remembered. God, they're stunning. I've only seen them online. They're huge. Oh, such a pretty thing.
What do you think?
I think they're stunning.
I mean, those are like,
And I just can't believe there's so many more coming.
there's 7 or 8 more coming or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, those are really, really beautiful, Bogdan. Congratulations. They're looking great.
Yeah.
And you pay her and get your receipt?
Yes, it's in my email.
Excellent. Congrats.
Okay, so that was 2022, a review of the end of 2022.
We've got lots and lots of plans for the new year, some changes to be made in some of our social media and blog and vlog postings. So look forward to that.
But let's just say something before I forget. We do have a weekly art chart that happens on my Facebook Bogdan Photo Art page, and that used to be in 2022 on a Wednesday morning, and now from 2023 we change a little the schedule, and it's going to be on every Saturday morning,
Every Saturday morning.
from 10 o'clock to 10:30, half an hour of having
Just
fun.
remarkable art.
Anyway, guys, great to see you.
Have a great
You
week.
have a wonderful 2023.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.